Hey guys, this is That Panda Guy, and I'm here again with another video. And I had gotten a question about farm accounts, how to build them, how to just, do a farm account, right? And I'm here to answer that question. I'm not the most perfect person when it comes to answering questions, but I do hope these videos help you guys out, and I hope my information really does help you succeed in the game. So I'm gonna jump right into this, and I hope my video is entertaining as well as just really helpful to you guys. All right, let's hop into it. So first off, I want to jump into this and say research is so huge. Honestly, I want to first start off by comparing the military tree and the economic tree. So when doing military research, I want to use this as an example. This costs 5 million, like let's say food and wood and all this other resources, but takes 11 days to upgrade or start the research or do the research, whatever. And then when you hop over to the economic tree, basically it costs a lot more resources for the expense of a lower time, which I really find worth it. Especially if you're doing these on farm accounts, I really recommend only focusing on the economic tree at least until you max it out. Maybe then start doing some slow military research. But if it's specifically a farm account, really don't focus on military research unless to upgrade your troop tiers, which that'd be the only reason. And yeah, I mean this just helps overall, including like even like food production and stuff, and like that goes as far as these farms and stuff. Which I really want to also point out that you should try as hard as you can to upgrade these as high as possible. Although it might take a bit of resources to get there, it really makes a difference in the long run, and I find it to really pay back really well. I mean, it does its job basically. I also want to go off and say whenever you collect your resources from your farms as well as your you know, training your troops, basically what will happen is in the store, you will have a chance to get gathering buffs, and these gathering buffs really make a difference over a longer period of time. I don't really recommend buying the 8 hour ones because, well, for me at least, I'm always able to get on and I'll be gathering throughout the day. So it's really worth it to buy the 1 day ones because I feel like the 8 hour ones are a waste of resources, especially when I'll just stack up on 1 days and just use these constantly. Next up, I also want to mention that headquarters, I really recommend getting this at least to level 20 because having 5 marches to gather with goes a really long way compared to, let's say, 4 or 3 marches, right? Like, I'm pretty sure that's self explanatory, but it really makes a difference, especially over a longer period of time. And I'm just going to hop into the next thing where, as heroes, I'm kind of going to try to make a point here. So, if you look at this, level 10, and I'm gonna call these rarity, like green. I'm gonna call them by their color because I'm not really the best when it comes to what the name of the rarity is. I'm pretty sure it's like uncommon and all that, but green rarity. Basically, when they're level 10 at green rarity, it takes 10,000 XP to get it to level 11, right? When they're blue rarity and you need to get them to the next level, it takes 15,000 XP. When they're purple, which is epic, I know that much. When they're epic rarity, basically it takes 18,000 XP to get it to level 11. So as you can see, the higher the rarity, the more XP it takes to level it up. And this point was to show that you guys that honestly, whenever you're going to be focusing your heroes, if it's on a farm, you're going to want to focus all your gathering heroes and get them to level 44 as quick as possible. And just like, I mean, you don't have to be like super fast with it, but it's really to focus these guys and get them to level 44 each one by one. And I want to say start from the lowest and go up because it's going to be the most efficient and probably going to pay off easier, right? Because it's going to be harder to get a higher like rarity hero up to level 44. And the reason you get it to 44 is so you can max out their full gathering tree, which at the end of this is going to be a 30% plus gathering speed, as well as stuff like this, which is squads led by this hero will gain an additional 7.5 bonus resources. And that really does a lot. I'll show you in a minute why, but I'm just saying, like, do your gathering heroes, focus them all, and try to get them all to 44. I'm going to also show that the hero skills are really important, so always try to max out any of your gathering hero skills. This one can go up to 15%, but right now I have it at level 2 and it's at 6%. And that really makes a significant difference, whether you realize it or not. And then you also see these other skills, which are like increases squad's food and oil gathering speed by 36%, wood and steel by 24%, and it also increases the squad load, which means you're able to send less troops basically. And it really makes a big difference, especially if you're able to log in actively and keep getting online to just constantly send out more for more. And I also want to mention that if you end up maxing out all your gathering heroes, honestly, the next heroes you might want to max out would be like heroes to defend your base, because you never know. There might be farm killers. You just want to be careful. I mean, your farms usually should be safe unless your region is really chaotic, which isn't usually the case. They usually have rules in place to kind of make sure you're not allowed to zero alliances outside of kill events, and otherwise you might just want to hide your send your resources to your main in a kill event or just something like that to be safe. But you guys get my point. But to kind of go into the point of the additional resources, I kind of want to show this as an example. Whereas I was at on my alliance center, right? I gathered 8.4 million food and I got an additional 1.4 million. You might not see that as a crazy amount, but it really adds up. And like that's an almost like that basically gives me rounds me up to 10 million, right? From 8.4 million, basically 10 million resources gathered. That really makes a difference. And like over time, like every little bit of resource counts. So honestly, getting that is gonna be massive when you're gathering stuff. So honestly, try to max out all your gathering heroes, or at least get them to 44. I mean, don't need to max them out. Next, I'm just going to answer some like kind of small questions. The comment also asked how to get it near you. And this comment kind of confused me, but I wasn't sure how he was kind of wording it. So basically, I don't know if he's referring to a new account, but if it's a new account, you're going to have a newcomer teleport. And you can basically send that new account to any region you want. It doesn't matter how old, how new it is. You can send it to any region you want as long as it's within the requirements of the newcomer teleport. And if it's an older account and your region is closed, I'm sorry to say that you won't be able to move it to your region until it opens up, which it takes 90 days for your region to open up after its creation. And there are also limitations on your migrations. So that's just a heads up. I also want to go to the store here and say that you can buy the immigration for 800,000 Alliance coins, or you can spend $5 in the shop to get an immigration thing or whatever. And I also want to say something, guys. If anybody wants to come to Region 1, feel free. We are always welcoming people. And yeah, in the premium packs at the very end here, you can see in Worlds and basically an immigration order. It goes up to $10 for 2, and then it just keeps going up from that. I also want to mention one last thing before I go, and basically, it's just that I feel like a farm really helps in your improvement in the game and your growth and just being ahead of everybody. I feel like there's nothing wrong with having more resources than needed because of a lot of factors in this game. Right now, although there's not a lot of PvP, when region versus region comes, you're going to be needing to heal a lot more. You're going to be needing a lot more resources just because you have to constantly heal yourself, right? Like troops are really expensive when it comes to healing, as well as just a ton of buildings. Like I'll give an example to where I upgraded my accounts, right, all to 25 basically, and when they were all doing their HQ 25 upgrade, I basically would have all my accounts gather one specific resource, and within like 2 or 3 gathers, like on each of them, they all had enough to send to my main for it to basically have, let's say, 100 mil plus food to basically do its thing. And that really adds up really fast. So honestly, if you're going to be a gather warrior or free to play, I really do recommend farm accounts just for the fact that you can gather on them constantly and build maybe even like, let's say 3 to 5, and maybe having some farming one resource, some farming another resource, and then you can just take the resources off those accounts, and it really builds up over a long period of time. I mean, I feel like farms do a lot. My accounts aren't really farms. I play these all like they're my main account. Like as you can see, they're really big. I've maxed out a lot of my buildings. These accounts don't really send resources to my main, and I probably won't be for a long time until like I really have to start sending resources to my main. But I really do recommend as a free to play that you do that. I feel like farm accounts also can be really helpful for your alliance because let's say you build troops over a long period of time. If you go into RVR, which as I said, it's not out yet, but I'm guessing it's going to be like ROK where you need to reinforce structures sometimes, right? You can always use your troops and sacrifice them for your alliance because those troops aren't going to be as, like, I guess, they're not going to matter to you as much, and they're able to be used, I guess, more flexible. And it really just helps your alliance to be able to hold structures without losing as many troops and killing more troops. And it just overall is really good. So I really do recommend a lot of farm accounts, or just as many as you can manage. I wouldn't recommend overdoing it either because you don't want to spend a lot of time on your farms. But I do hope this video was helpful to you guys. You guys have a good day. Peace out.